This tastes very holiday festive-y.
Oh, spicy.
Chat.
Okay, interesting. Maybe we'll buy that.
Oh, where are we? We are here.
Guys,
Yeah.
We are here,
Hi,
we made
good
it.
morning.
how are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm here. I'm over here in the corner.
Hey, how's it going?
She's on timeout. In the corner.
So, how's it been since we last spoke last week? Any new developments? Anything going on?
Everything. I mean, we had to fire sales, not sales, the programmer last week.
Excellent.
Yeah, excellent. So we did it, and
Not the common response,
Right.
but sure.
Well, we also added
the robotic.
on Indeed, we
we
posted a job
There we go.
for junior,
junior,
sales.
senior, yep, and CNC.
but she
programmer.
has to schedule interviews and she has to hire the kid.
Oh yes, we had that
Yeah, we have to
kid
hire
that
the
came,
from
and
Pepper.
yeah, we can do the second interview for
Yeah.
technical questions. I think we should give it a try.
Yeah, we can set up for Monday.
Okay, perfect.
We'll set up for Friday.
What do you mean Friday? This
Black
Friday?
Friday.
Yeah.
We'll set up for Friday. It's a business day.
Well,
Well,
so
you know.
to me, it sounds like a great opportunity to hire someone who's really solid and
Mhm.
will do the job right. So
Yes.
take a lot off of your guys' plate. So getting rid of talent that isn't performing to where they should be is
Yeah.
it's a good thing. So we'll look at it as an opportunity.
Yes, and I agree with you. I told Carlos it's not nice. It's not. I wasn't on my comfortable side when I have to fire someone, but at the same time, I want to make sure we have the right person in the team. And then if he's not aligned with the organization, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing against
Yeah, it's not
Devin.
personal.
It's not personal. It's just
yeah. Well, if he's not doing the right job, at the end of the day, we're all here to make money. So if he's not doing the right job, he's not making you guys money or as much money as he should be.
right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's never fun to
Unfortunate.
fire anyone, but sometimes we have to.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we did that before the 3 months. Once, I think after they started in 2 weeks, you're able to see if they're out. Yeah, but it wasn't nice to fire, but it's okay. I'm getting better on this.
Yeah, it's always hard. It's always hard. But the way to look at it is, it's not personal.
Right.
Just, they could be the best guy in the world, but in reality, if they're not performing in that job and there's no place to put them,
Mm-hmm.
there's not much you could do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. So today I wanted to make it I wanted to go over 2025 projections. And to discuss those, just so we have a solidified idea of where we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know we were doing our revenue forecasting, but just as a number guidance. Right now, I have it set at a conservative number, around 6,955,000
Okay.
per revenue. Now, I think we can beat that easily.
Me
But
too.
that being said, I do have a $1.9 million oh, that's not right. I have there we go. EBITDA. $1.4 million in EBITDA.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good ad backs. Do you think that for revenue, do you think that 6.9 million is that being too conservative, or should we go higher?
I mean, Carlos will say like 8 to 10.
We can do
But
it.
I would say 6.9. It's
Well, right now with a little bit of marketing, I mean, every day of this week we had new qualified leads. And
Right.
So this month to date, I believe we were able to add more new customers than any other month. And I'm just doing the social media stuff. Not really a campaign we're not spending any money and we're getting new leads every single day. So once we have an actual marketing, which we have a huge budget for next year, and we have more junior salespeople getting those quotes back to customers right away,
So what do you,
there's really no, I mean, the limit will be our machine. Then will become, then it's gonna go not from the flow, it's gonna be from the operation side, where we're gonna have to do a 16-hour day instead of a 10-hour day. I mean, we'll transition from a 8 to 10 to 10 to 12, 14, 16, all the way up into 22 once we go into automated systems.
yeah, but for next year, what do you think? Based on this, with the new
Well, based on
marketing
what we
and
do this year, whatever's projected this year, I want to my goal is to grow at least 32.5%. Because if we go
Which will be-
32.5% every year after year, we get to 100 million in 10 years.
Gotcha.
We should do, I don't know how we're gonna do it. It's one of those things. I don't know how it's gonna be done.
So
but it needs to be done.
I added some of the numbers that I had sort of as another scenario. Well, I think we could be a bit more aggressive with it.
Mhm.
You said 32.5%. At 41%, we're looking at 7.1 million.
7.1.
Around there. At 41%, we're looking at around 7.1 million using our 2024 projections.
Yeah,
Do you want to keep it at 7.1 and then use that as sort of our baseline?
that would work. Yeah, because we had
What we have on the platform.
so on the platform delivery, we have projected enterprise revenue or
Was 11.
so this
million.
year was supposed to be 6.4,
Yep.
Yep.
which we're under for sure. Next year, they projected to be at 11.5.
Yeah.
And 18, 23, 32.
So the way we're doing it is we're gonna have our base projection. We call it
Yeah.
low, medium, high.
That's right.
So I'm thinking for our low, we could, if we want, we could even go we can go higher. But if we're okay with 7.1 being the low, like this is what we're budgeting for, this is the very minimum, like our expenses are gonna be calculated using this.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then for the high, I was looking at around 9.6, 9.598 million.
Mhm.
I can always adjust that up.
So the low one will do 6.9.
7.1. So
7.1.
7.1, just to have an
Oh,
idea, just for
7.1.
it's 592,000 a month. So we know it's not a big deal. We've done 630 something on a month.
I know.
And this month, so what we've
Because
been
we had
doing,
PEI,
yeah, well, because we didn't do marketing.
and we
If
had
we're
the
marketing, those numbers would be even higher. We've probably been hitting 700 to 800,000. But anyways, this is what we have now, and the beauty is we have, since PI kind of went away, we're building that up. So every month, so we September was horrible, October was, we beat September, November we're beating October, December we will beat November. So those, then we can keep building that up. Like we are at, let me bring you at the lower screen. But we are, as of right now, at 370. Last month was 341, 700.
Okay.
Right now we're at 370, 549, and we still have some shipping to do today. So we're gonna be closer to 400. And that's not a lot of orders that we processed this month. They were just higher value orders. It was so it's definitely been a good month. We had a lot more machine parts that we have the machining department loaded with parts. So we got to be careful now as far as offering expedite, which is a good problem to have, because if we see the demand, $55,000 get us another machine that can be generating revenue right away. So
Yeah.
that's fair. And as far as the welding part, I sent it to a company because we already have a robot. We have the robot. They can it's bring your own robot program that they have. It's a company called Vectis. It's not as high end as we were looking into Trump, which was about 140,000 for the whole system.
Mm.
And the main reason is because they cannot let me use my robot. Otherwise, it'd be cheaper. But I would say that this setup will probably be I'm guesstimating at about 30 to 40 grand. which is a lot easier to make that back and get into start welding. So I'm waiting for them to get back to me with pricing, and then I'll definitely share with you as far as the cost. But it's going to be a lot lower because the robot's roughly 55 grand. And they don't really have much. They have a welding table and they have a welder. It's not overly complicated system, and that's pretty small too. So we can get familiar with robotic welding and start doing some of those, doing something internally, and then you make sure we're testing those to make sure the welds are being corrected and kind of start learning more and more about welding. Because that's in the future. So if we can get our hands wet or foot wet, what do we say?
Oh, just started.
Feet wet.
Our feet wet. We want to get into sooner than later.
Yeah. I think that I think this will be a purchase sooner than later. Personally, I think that this will be an advancement that we can do.
Yeah, exactly.
It really depends on how we finish out this year and how we're doing in Q1. Q1 is when we want to start marketing our marketing campaign.
Yep.
I think that'll lead to a ton of lead flow, so we're going to see
It
some
will.
explosive growth. That's why even that 7.1 number, hopefully that's just oh wow. In February we're like, oh, okay, that should be we need to go with like 10 million. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it really depends on where we are.
Yeah,
But it gives us a good basis for the budget.
Yeah, we'll
Mhm.
start with a base.
So we'll
for
do
budget.
7.1 versus 6.9.
Yeah, so 7.1 was the one I made.
The
6.9
low.
is the more conservative number, but I think
Mhm.
7.1 is actually quite conservative, knowing that we're planning marketing campaigns and we're setting out these processes that we've discussed. So I think that 7.1 will easily reach. And then as far as our mid tier, I have 8.3, and then for our high goal, I have 9.6.
So
Are those numbers comfortable with you guys? And we can always adjust these too. These aren't set in
Sure.
stone.
so you said
Yeah.
after 7.1, 8.5
8.3,
or 8.3,
8.3.
and then
9.6.
okay.
And so we'll have 3 different budgets figured upon
On
each
the,
of those, so we know where
Yeah.
and what we can spend on.
And good news you were asking about good news as well. Well, this Monday I was talking to Paperless Parts, and they're working on getting me analytics report for revenue per operation.
Oh, excellent.
So
Excellent.
that at least we have the estimated revenue per operation, which is
Interesting,
a
right?
number that we
Mm.
can start working with.
nice.
Because I was telling them about the challenge from paperless to Fulcrum, where they look at work centers or they look at a part number. And like you're more familiar now, well, when we sell a Waterjet part, it doesn't mean that it's just Waterjet. You have the material cost and well, you have the material revenue, the Waterjet revenue, the deburring revenue, packaging revenue, even programming revenue. Now we have every line item has a 15 minutes, which is translates to $15 revenue for each job.
Interesting.
That we built that into pricing, and it has not affected anything as far as losing more bids or any more. I mean, it's the same, but at least we're accounting for that time that is a cost for us to program into the router. So we're gonna be, I think, as far as new stuff, that's a new thing. As for so you'll see a line a revenue stream of programming, which is it's built in that Waterjet or laser part moving forward. But I think so. I was just looking at all the numbers. I mean, we have just this afternoon pretty much. So this whole month we had 92 orders, which is low. We are the highest month I think was a little over a 120, but at 92 orders we are averaging $4,000 per order,
That's pretty
which
good.
is higher than our normal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Our normal is 2,500. So we definitely have
But
better numbers overall.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. So for our EBITDA number, I'm looking at around 1.5 at that 7.1. And if we go down to, I mean, let's look at our high. If we're making that 9.6 number,
Yeah.
our EBITDA will be
Patrick,
around 2.7.
are you supposed to be sharing this with us on the screen?
Well, this is just like my internal.
Okay.
I
I
can
just-
share it with you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you don't have to, because,
Yeah.
yeah, I was wondering if you, yeah, because.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll be brutally honest.
Spreadsheet.
My plan was to share this. However, I had the October numbers put into my document by our analyst team.
Oh, okay.
As you're aware, we use Google Sheets, so it's
Yeah.
all done by rows of data. So when they did that, they ruined my chart of accounts
Oh,
that I had
no.
for you guys. So I have to go back in and recode it.
Really?
So yeah, that's something that I'll be doing during.
All right, see, that's why he's not sharing.
Because right now it's looking
Yes, look
very, very
at
messy.
Yeah.
So I just told them that I'm not gonna yell at them, but I just say, don't worry,
You're not gonna fire them, right?
No.
I can't fire them, unfortunately. It's not allowed
Just
to.
fire everyone.
See,
Let's
I
fire
tried to. I discussed that with with Brandon. I guess he didn't like that idea, but yeah. So they ruined my chart of accounts. So now all of it's just under one line item. So I had to go back in and look at my previous
no.
notes. So I'm gonna go back and just re-input the data myself
Okay.
and do it under my encode it my way. So, but that's why I wasn't sharing the screen because I could. The numbers are still the same, but it looks.
That's right.
I literally had to erase all of my line items and just put everything due to data dump as revenue line 1B. So that's what what I'm dealing with right now. But
As
the
we're
rest of the
on,
expenses are correct.
all right, just going over the numbers again. So we have 7.1 at low, we have
8.3.
8.3 and
Mid,
mid,
yep.
mid.
And 9.6 at high.
And to give you an idea, at that 7.1 million number, we're looking at about 1.5 in EBITDA, a
Mhm.
21.1%. And then if we go to that mid number, we're looking at that 8.3 number. We're seeing EBITDA of 2.1 million-ish, around 25% EBITDA to revenue. And then that high number, we're looking at 9.6, EBITDA of 2.7 at 28% EBITDA margin. And I think that could either be spot on or it could be fairly conservative, that high number.
Yeah.
So my goal, I think, really by the end of Q1, we're gonna know whether or not that EBITDA number will be that high number will be our new base.
Okay.
Then we'll just adjust up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Hopefully going to adjust it.
Yeah, and then as
Okay.
we get more financials in, I'll input them in this this graph I have in this data sheet.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that will update our numbers, and I can then play with it and make I can make that high number our new base. So it's all a living, breathing document.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Gosh,
Okay.
and this is this is probably one of the a great discussion to have, especially as we have our Thanksgiving break, etc. We're meeting in next week, something to ponder about because we want to get these finalized and have an idea of set the targets for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah, because right now we had a target for this year at 8.
Mm-hmm. And we're not gonna be able to close. So now we are 4. We got to the 5.
Yeah, we're gonna be over 5.
Yeah. So I have numbers in here through October for for November. I just took the average of the last 3 months and same with December, and that gets us to a 2024 revenue of around 5,078,000.
Mhm.
That being said, that November and December numbers could be much higher.
Correct. Yeah, what is it at this point?
Right now, so the projections for 2024, the total revenue is 5,078,000. EBITDA of 870,000, which is 17.14%. That being said, I know we lost PEI, so that was a sort of a big blow. That being,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact that we're still at that 5 million mark, even with that,
Yes.
is pretty good.
Yeah, 'cause
So
we look at the pretty much end of, well, from August is where we start seeing a hit. And then
Yeah.
to October, November. So
Yes.
this last quarter is we're down. And we
Yeah.
are,
That's
yeah,
okay.
it would have been well, it would have been at 6.5. It would definitely beat
Yeah,
last
you're
year.
like-
So that's okay because we haven't even started marketing. We
Correct.
haven't even started doing the big things we've discussed. We were preparing for it, but we haven't started it yet.
Yep.
That's where the big concern should be. Well, how do we make sure that we have the enough people on staff? How do we make
That's
sure that
right.
our machines can handle this volume? And that's going to be the fun time where we're quickly ordering new machines and we're planning out the new machine purchases throughout the year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be the fun time because once we really start all these initiatives, and I know we're preparing for it now, but once we start it, I mean that 5 million from last year is just going to be a chart. If you're looking at a chart of your revenue over the last 5 to 10 years, you know what I mean, just a long lasting chart, it'll just look like a little hiccup, and then I'll go straight up.
Yeah.
So I would not be concerned about it, especially with what we have planned.
Yeah. I mean,
Even with the base,
yeah.
even with the base, we're looking at 7.1. We're looking at a 41% growth.
Mhm.
So
Excellent.
that's still decent.
Yes.
That being said, I think we can hit the high, and that's gonna be an 89% year-over-year increase. And that
Mhm.
sounds like a lot, but with this business and launching these new initiatives, I think it's very doable.
Yep.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. And we're just gonna look into machine time. Once this, yeah, sales, we know sales and marketing, I have no doubt that's is gonna bring us a lot of new business. I have absolutely zero doubt. Because it always did. Even when I spend money on Google, which I'm not spending anything now, well, Emily, you should see $500 every week
For
going to
Google.
Google.
No, you don't see
No.
much.
Yeah,
No,
no,
no.
like it's not even every month, right?
I'm
Guys, I
trying
still
to
have,
remember the last time
Yeah.
that I saw it. Now that
Yeah.
he's saying
But
that.
that
I'm like,
gets-
wait a
but
second.
we
When
still
did I
get-
get to that
yeah,
fast?
but we're
Yeah.
still getting leads. We're still getting leads, and that's through getting this,
Organic
the-
marketing, right?
yeah, the social media and Google business page.
Yep.
And yeah, once we have what we're planning for, we're gonna be doing a lot more. It's gonna be around 8,000 a week. Imagine us spending 8 grand a week in marketing. What the return will look like. It's insane. Yeah,
No,
so
it'll be
it's
great.
insane.
It's gonna be so. I will say this: when you start spending that much money in marketing, it will be scary
Yeah,
because
Yes.
we have clients that have never really spent money on marketing. If they have, maybe a couple thousand a month, and now they're going into next year spending about 11 grand a month, and they're scared because that's a lot of money. And
It is.
that being said, we've already seen some traction, and it's so far. I mean, from our experience, with the right marketing and the right campaigns, it can be a huge revenue booster, especially having not done a ton of marketing for your company. It's going to open the floodgates. So we have to also make sure that we're prepared to be reinvesting into the company to make sure that it can
Right.
handle this volume of orders, which is a
Correct.
great problem.
it's a nice
That's where the
problem to have, yeah. It'll be some long days to get all these new leads quoted.
It will. So the way I look at it is
And program.
next year's gonna be really tough as far as it's gonna be a lot of
Exactly.
the year after is gonna be a little bit less because now you're gonna have the cash to expand, automate, and hire to duplicate your guys' roles. So it's not, and then the year after that will be even better. So in a few years, you're gonna be sitting on the beach and running your machines from there, looking over summaries. That's the goal. To make sure that you can do whatever you want and you can be outside of the business.
I'm looking forward for this, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
it's gonna be a ton of work up to that point, but it'll be worth it because you'll be raking in millions of dollars, and you can be running your business from wherever you want. Yeah, you can go to the office a couple times a week, sure. You know, hell, every day if you want, but you could do whatever you want.
Yeah. And
So,
also growing, people that work with us, they are also growing with the company.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You can,
Growing the team
you
on
can make them into
all
leaders.
different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can grow them to leaders themselves. They could be
Yeah.
managing certain departments. As we talked about, I know you guys have really big plans for ACP, so I see those plans coming through. Our goal is to get those plans done sooner than later. So
Yep.
I'd like to see you guys hitting that huge revenue point, that huge EBITDA point, uh, as soon as possible. And then, maybe one day you sell it, and then you reinvest into a couple of other things, and now you guys are the silent billionaires we talked about.
Yeah.
Very, very doable.
Yeah. The way we see it, we're going to be acquiring some other companies, especially with the boomers retiring right now, which they are in a mass.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And once you get this, so acquisitions, that's inorganic growth, which is
Yeah.
very much necessary, and that's my background. But then there's organic growth. You need the organic growth first. And then once you have the process down, you start acquiring everything. You start inputting that process in other places. And now you have a huge, huge company, nationwide, internationally, even if you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. It can grow. Look, well, you can get the speed. Then you get,
International buying stuff. Where? Portugal?
I was thinking you were
Can we go
thinking
to
that.
yeah. I don't know if I would go to Brazil because the labor laws, they're horrible. Labor laws
Well,
are horrible.
well, I do have my connections, and in fact, I'm meeting with Brandon a few weeks now, trying to expand the firm into Latin America and South America.
Really?
Yeah, so and when that time comes, I can definitely try to get you guys in there as well. I mean, I can, but I want to make sure you guys are set up really nicely with some favorable cheat codes. Let's
Oh,
say.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a huge market. Yeah. It's definitely very different than the US market.
Very different, and it can be quite profitable if you already have something set up in the US. That means you have something
Oh, yeah.
internationally to supply you with things you might not be able to get for your
Correct.
US companies.
Correct. Yeah. Those are fun plans for
Absolutely.
near future.
Yeah.
Very near future. So
Yeah.
next year, I think we can hit that high. My goal is that, and March, you guys are yelling at me saying, how could you tell us that the high would have been so low? Now we have to rebudget everything. That's my goal.
Yep.
So, and I think we can do it. But in the
Mm.
meantime, I'm working on those metrics for you guys. I wanted to bombard you with them on a call, especially before Thanksgiving. And then additionally, I asked around about an operator who's in a business like yours, who's doing
Yes.
custom jobs. I have not, so far, I haven't heard anything that we know of someone, but I made some traction with one guy who works in a different department at Gardon Ventures who might know somebody
Okay.
back from him. So I'm working on that. Is there anything I can get you guys? Anything that you guys want to see? Any questions you may have?
No, not me. Do you have any questions?
Gotcha. And again, if you have my number, email, feel free to just contact me in any way. And
sure.
even if it's a quick question, like, hey, Patrick, what would happen if we did this? Or
Mhm.
how would investing in this help us? I'll gladly run the numbers.
Yeah, I still think at some point we will be going back to investing in real estate because on the personal side, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, and real estate's great. In fact, when you open new factories, I would absolutely buy the
Yeah,
land.
that's real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely buy it. That's how I've seen billionaires get made. Larry Van Tile, the car dealership.
Hmm.
He had I think 80 plus locations, but he always made sure he owned the land underneath it. And then when he sold it for over $1 billion to Warren Buffett. So
Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Same idea. McDonald's. They own the land.
yeah,
Doesn't matter. You can put the McDonald's
is
on
that
top of
right?
it for life.
I
Yeah.
didn't know
They
that.
own the land. You
yeah,
don't.
it's a big real estate play for them.
Yeah. The car
Very,
washes. Yeah. Car washes are going the same way because car washes on prime locations. So they are. I mean, Chuck O'Neill. They're
yeah,
doing.
that's right.
He's a big car wash guy. So they're
I
buying this
remember
prime
that.
piece of land and putting the car wash on with the automated system. So you don't have a lot of people, but you also have that piece of real estate really uh, appreciated.
Yeah, McDonald's is just a giant real estate play. In reality, they have franchise
It is a
restaurants.
giant.
and you can become a franchisee, but they make sure that they own that land and you come in and you work at their store. So it's a really interesting play.
It is, yeah, that's why it's so big.
Hmm.
That's the main reason it's so big. But yeah, we'll definitely for 2026, which I've seen more and more buildings coming for sale. Uh, Eventually, we'll find something that will be within a budget that we can get on and start planning our move for within the year 2026.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next year is going to be a big year where we really do the first marketing campaign with a real budget, and
Yep.
we're gonna definitely see the results, and also create a lot of solutions to be able to uh, be operational effectiveness, so you can deliver what we promised on the time we promised.
Mhm.
Because we still want to be on the quick turnaround, which is it's a tough environment to be, but it's the most profitable one. So we want to make sure we get a lot of these quick turn jobs and get them delivered on time.
Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds great to me. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Are there any questions I can answer? Any concerns? And again,
No
seeing
concerns
things
yet. Questions, we'll probably have many more, but no
That-
concerns.
that's okay. And if let's say like in an hour you guys have a question, just text or call me.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, if anything comes up or anything you'd like to have an idea, I'll let you know.
Perfect.
Otherwise,
Awesome.
you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Well, you guys as well. Hope you all have a great Thanksgiving, surrounded by family.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's make it a profitable Thanksgiving as well.
Yes. For
We'll do it.
sure. Thank you, Patrick.
Of course. Thanks everyone.
All right,
Bye-bye.
take care. Thank
Bye.
you.